The wrought iron gates of Willow Haven loomed before us, crowned with intricate patterns of ivy and roses that seemed more alive than the cold December morning should allow. Beyond the gates stretched a picture-perfect community, identical houses painted in muted pastels with lawns trimmed to military precision. It was a place so sterile it felt unnatural. "Mike, this is what's best for you," Mom said softly, her voice trembling as she adjusted her scarf, avoiding my gaze. Her words carried the weight of guilt she wouldn't admit. Dad's tone was firm, almost rehearsed. "You need structure, discipline. This move is for all our sakes." I didn't bother to argue. The countless therapy sessions, school interventions, and late-night shouting matches had drained any fight I had left. To them, I was the problem, a delinquent, a troublemaker. So here we were, starting over in Willow Haven, the gated utopia where unruly kids like me supposedly turned their lives around. But as we passed through those towering gates, I felt the icy prickle of something sinister. The first few weeks were uneventful but unnerving. School was stricter than I'd imagined, and the kids were unnervingly obedient. They greeted teachers with military precision, their smiles wide but hollow. The adults were no different, their conversations brimming with superficial pleasantries as they sipped expensive coffee. Everything in Willow Haven felt manufactured, like a facade concealing rot beneath. I tried to shake it off, but the atmosphere grew heavier as December crept on. By mid-month, the neighborhood had transformed overnight. Elaborate lights and decorations adorned every house. A towering Christmas tree glittered in the central park, its ornaments reflecting the glow of thousands of twinkling lights. Yet, the festive cheer felt forced, like a mask hiding something much darker. "Why don't we put up decorations?" I asked Mom one evening. Her hands froze mid-motion as she arranged cookies on a tray. We're keeping it simple this year," she murmured, her voice barely above a whisper. When Dad entered the room, his expression was a stone wall. He shot her a glance that silenced whatever she might have said next. Something was wrong. Very wrong. The night of the Christmas gathering came too quickly. Attendance was mandatory, as was every event in Willow Haven. The community hall was grand, with vaulted ceilings and crystal chandeliers. But the festive decorations did little to mask the undercurrent of dread in the room. Parents whispered nervously, while kids fidgeted in their seats. The air was thick with unease. I leaned toward a pale, anxious girl sitting nearby. "Why does everyone look like they are at a funeral?" I whispered. Her eyes darted around before she hissed, "Shut up. Just don't say anything." The room fell silent as Mr. Grayson, the head of the community association, stepped onto the stage. His tall frame and ever-present smile radiated authority, though his cold, gray eyes betrayed no warmth. "Welcome, friends," he began, his voice smooth and practiced. "Tonight, we uphold a cherished tradition, the naughty and nice list." My stomach twisted. I'd heard whispers about the list, but assumed it was some cheesy holiday gimmick. Grayson gestured, and two women emerged carrying a massive book bound in black leather. They set it on the podium, and he opened it with a flourish. "As always," he continued, "those on the nice list will be rewarded. And those on the naughty list." He paused, his smile widening unnaturally. "Will face the consequences of their actions." The air seemed to thicken as he began calling names. Kids stepped forward to receive pins, silver for nice, red for naughty. Each name was followed by either quiet relief or stifled sobs. When my name was called, my body went cold. Michael Carter. Naughty list. Mom let out a strangled sob. Dad's jaw tightened, but he didn't move to stop the two men in dark suits who approached me. "What the hell is this?" I shouted, backing away. Their hands gripped my arms like steel clamps. "Mom? Dad? Do something!" I yelled, panic rising. Mom's face crumpled as tears streamed down her cheeks. Dad's eyes were cold, distant. "It's for your own good, Mike," he said, his voice hollow. They dragged me outside, past the glowing decorations, and into the shadowy woods. The deeper we went, the darker and colder it became. Finally, we reached a clearing illuminated by a roaring bonfire. Around it stood other kids from the naughty list, their faces pale with terror. "What is this?" I demanded, struggling against my captors. No one answered. The adults formed a circle around the fire, their voices rising in a guttural chant. The flames leapt higher, casting monstrous shadows. One by one, the kids were pushed toward the fire. Their screams pierced the night, but the chanting drowned them out. The fire consumed them, their cries fading into silence as the flames roared hungrily. When my turn came, I fought with everything I had. I screamed, cursed, begged. They forced me to my knees, the heat of the fire scorching my skin. "Stop! Please! I'll be good, I swear." I sobbed. Grayson leaned close, his smile as chilling as the flames were hot. "It's nothing personal, Michael. Just tradition." When I woke, I wasn't me anymore. My body was gone, replaced by bark and roots. I was a tree, my branches reaching skyward. I could see everything, the other trees, the town, the kids playing beneath us. And I could see my mom, sitting beneath my branches, her shoulders shaking as she wept. The truth hit me like a lightning bolt. The trees weren't just trees. They were us, the naughty kids. Miss Kim sat under another tree, whispering apologies to the daughter she'd lost. The cycle repeated year after year. New kids fed to the fire, their ashes nourishing our cursed roots. The gates of Willow Haven stayed locked, its dark secrets hidden from the outside world. And I could do nothing but grow, a silent witness to the horrors of a tradition that would never end.